We're back, baby. You doing the countdown? We're back. We're back at it. Back once again with some drums with Oisín. Welcome, guys. Sorry it's been so long. I've been having a haircut. Today we're going to talk to you about some Sabian cymbals, some absolutely beautiful Sabian cymbals, in fact. These are some of my favourite cymbals that I've ever had the pleasure to play. They really suit what I like to hear in a cymbal anyway. They kind of typify that. They're really nice, kind of slightly raw, very dark, very dry, lots of stick articulation. I think a more versatile cymbal than a lot of people will assume them to be. They are an artisan cymbal. Sabian Artisan cymbals have always been associated with the sort of the jazz side of things, that much darker, much richer sort of sound. But these are the Artisan Elites we're talking about today. I have a small selection, 3 of the range here with me. From left to right, I have the Artisan Elite 16-inch hats. I have the Artisan Elite 20-inch. And the Artisan Elite 22-inch. An important note to make is that these aren't artisan rides or Artisan Elite rides as such. The company, Sabian, have left it up to us, up to the player to decide for ourselves how we wish to use the cymbal. For example, a few years back, in fact more than a few years back, they released the Legacy range of cymbals, which were designed in conjunction with Dave Weckl. He had released these cymbals with Sabian, and on them you would have seen printed Legacy 20 ride, or 21-inch Legacy ride rather, 20-inch Legacy ride. I think the 22 was always the heavy ride. But Sabian, in response to a lot of drummers deciding for themselves, actually I prefer this as a crash, they took the ride off it. So it kind of opened it up slightly to musicians, to drummers who didn't feel that they wanted to be constrained to this being a ride cymbal and this a crash cymbal or anything along those lines, which is ideal for me anyway. I prefer the sound of bigger cymbals, typically speaking. Now this is my own personal taste, obviously I can't speak for everyone, but these cymbals seem to fill that role perfectly. They sound beautiful there. They're a nice, dark, rich, dry, as I said before, lots of stick articulation. You get a lot of the wood from the stick. They're absolutely beautiful. Sabian as a company was formed in 1981 by Robert Zildjian. They opened a premises on the banks of I think it's the St. John River in Meductic, New Brunswick in Canada. Their whole mission was to release cymbals of significant quality, simply put. Instruments, each unto their own, each unto themselves. My God, I can't talk. What am I trying to say? Each of them of their own is an instrument, in short. We can cut that bit, or whatever. Anyway, yeah, gorgeous instruments since 1981, as I said. These, from having spoken to a gentleman by the name of David Williams, one of the Sabian product specialists, what he described to me was, in developing these cymbals, they wanted something darker, something drier, with that attack, with that stick definition, something with quite a short decay, which you can imagine a cymbal with the sort of the lathing properties that these have to own. They're in line with the Artisan profile. They're made of the same V20 alloy, which is a mixture of copper, tin and silver, a very specific mixture which is guarded, a very closely guarded secret of Sabian's. And this cymbal makes use of 3 different specific hammering styles, essentially, from kind of smaller diameter hammers to a much larger, much wider hammer. And yeah, they're absolutely beautiful. Each cymbal will be signed by the gentleman responsible for effectively releasing it into the wild. In a manner of speaking, they'll be quality controlled. Essentially what Sabian will do, they'll manufacture an Artisan cymbal, they'll test it, they'll QC it there and then, they'll put it on a shelf. The shelf is in a very controlled temperature sort of room. They'll age the cymbal, they'll check it again a short time later, and if it meets their high standards, it will be released to the world to try out. So yeah, here we are, Sabian Artisan Elites. Check it. Folks, that's another episode of Drums with Oisín wrapped up. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you see, obviously press this subscribe button. I think it's just down here somewhere. There's plenty of recommended videos, I'm sure, coming up in your feed over this side as well. Just all down below and stuff. And then, yeah, this is links to our various other social media platforms. I think we're on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Check us out.